Hey, today I'm going to be talking about a very important leadership skill, conflict resolution, so stick around.
Thanks for tuning in to Lead the Teams, The Front.
Hey, my name is Mike Phillips, and I will be your host, and as always, for sales training, for motivational content, and to level up your leadership, make sure you click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Conflict resolution is an absolutely critical skill to have in business, especially when you get into management and to leadership, because you're going to have to be addressing people when they don't see eye to eye with you, and sometimes when they don't see eye to eye with each other. So let's get into some steps that will help you resolve conflict when it arises in your business. One of the key traits in resolving conflict is having good communication. And you want to make sure that you're communicating in a way that is well received by the person or people that you are communicating with. Because the best communication is not in terms of how I feel I'm communicating, but it's how it's received by the other party. Now, when we're talking about creating resolutions, you have to listen before you speak. You have to listen to what the problem is or what the perceived problem is by the other person or people. Because if you jump right in and say, look, here's how I want you to solve this, people will not always receive that in the best light, right? They want to feel like they're part of the solution. So I encourage you, when you're approaching any conflict, first things first, you have to listen to the other person and what their concern or what their conflict is. Now, as you're listening to that other person, it's important sometimes to put yourself in their position. So walk a mile in their shoes, so to speak. If you were in the position that this person or people were in, how would you feel? Because if you can put yourself in that emotional state where you can feel the frustration that somebody else is feeling, whether it's true or not. For example, if you've had somebody that said something mean about you in the past, they said, gosh, that Mike, he doesn't listen. You start to get frustrated whether that was a factual statement or not. So you may go back to that person sometimes and you say, hey, I heard, I'm really frustrated. I heard that you said that I'm not listening to you. And they say, oh no, what I said was we were talking on the phone and that you didn't hear what I had to say. And it could be a very simple instance, but it doesn't change the level of frustration that you had when you thought that person said that you were not a good listener. Next, when you're trying to resolve any conflict, you have to be very honest, straightforward, and direct. Don't dance around the subject. Lay it right out. Once you've listened to the person and you've maybe assessed it and you've put yourself in that emotional state with them, be direct in what the problem is as you see it. You may say something along these lines. So what I'm hearing you say is... And that allows you to bridge and open a communication between that person. Because if that's not what they are saying to you, then it allows them to clarify, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, and reiterate their situation. Or if it is what they're saying, then they can say, yeah, absolutely, you've got it. Now, once you've done that, if you're in agreement, they've told you what the problem is, you're in agreement with what the problem or the conflict is, start to seek a solution together. That's how resolution works, is if you have one person trying to come up with a solution and another person trying to come up with a solution and you're trying to come up with a solution, in most cases, you're not all going to see eye to eye. So you have to bring people to the same side of the table so that way you can seek a solution as a team. Get off the problem. You know, you're never going to resolve conflict if you stay focused on the problem. So you have to steer people to the other side and really focus on the solution. A few other quick tips. Always make sure that you look people in the eye. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. So when you look somebody in the eye, it is so important because it shows that they are important. Their ideas are important and what you are working with together is important. Make sure that you verbalize and you reassure people that you are interested in finding a solution with them. It's so important. Sometimes we get into it and we start this conversation. It's important to say point blank, listen, we will find a solution. We will seek a solution to this together. And lastly, take notes when you're listening to someone. That shows that you're actively listening and what they have to say is important. And then you can refer back to it as you're having your conversation. So just real quick, to create solutions, to find conflict resolution, I'm going to run back through that real quick. Listen before you speak, right? Put yourself in their shoes. Find common ground. Be honest and straightforward. Get off of the problem and get focused on solutions together as a team. Let me ask you, what are some other methods that you may use to communicate with your peers or with your employees to resolve conflict within your business or even within your personal life? I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. So that's the whole message for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.